Hi guys, I'm live. I'd like to do some walk rant, but I'd like to I'll talk about some realizations I had and to share them with you. So there's three different exact examples. One is a guitar technique thing I realized. One is a music thing that I made progress in, and one is dealing with my belief or disbelief in Christianity, or the Bible, whatever you call it. So first of all, it finally hit me that there's actually an alternate picking. It came to me that there's actually two polarities. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't really know it in my bones level like I do now. There's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, or there's up, down, up, down, up, down. You don't always have to start every lick on a downstroke. You can also do everything opposite by starting with an upstroke, down, up, or up, down, up. So I'm going to try to break out of the pattern of always starting with a downstroke and thinking it has to be down, up, down, when it really could be up, down, up, just as well. And I thought of this: whenever you do a same stroke twice in a row, you change polarities as well. If you go down, up, down, you really change to down, up. You kind of change from up, down, in a way too. Because if you really were doing alternate picking without doing the same stroke twice, you would be on the same stroke you ended up in when you did two strokes in a row, but starting with the opposite stroke. So one good way to change polarity is to two consecutive equal strokes, but that's not the point. The main point of what I'm saying is you can start licks with upstrokes too. And I'm going to start working on that. And then I just now thought of this to say. I was watching Dawkins play on video from 1987 in Philadelphia, and I noticed that George Lynch, he taps with the middle finger of his right hand, but he also sometimes taps with the pick. And it reminded me that you don't have to not tap with a pick just because you also tap with your fingers. You can tap with your pick or your fingers and make it just a different sound, you know. So thanks, George Lynch. I sometimes tap with my pick now for a different sound than tapping with my fingers, even though, you know, I use the second and third middle fingers of my right hand to tap. I can also now use the pick to tap with. George just gave me the idea to do that. And then next is I finally really did get my head around all 12 minor keys, all 12 harmonic minor scales that are possible in Western music. And that's cool. It's a lot to visualize, but there really are 24 independent keys, 12 minors and 12 majors. And to visualize all of those equally is a good thing. So just be able to visualize all 12 harmonic minor scales as well as all 12 major scales. And then you can kind of get a feel for the 24 possible keys in Western music. Western, by Western, I mean 12 notes per octave, you know, 12 notes in a chromatic scale, that kind of thing. But now the real reason I was going to do this video was to mention the Bible. Something came to me today. You know, first of all, like I've said, it's Revelation 13:18 that says that here's wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of a man, for it is the number, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Well, there's a bunch of coincidences in that, and I want to say how I feel about that now after I tell you them, remind you of them again. First of all, the word wise, or at least wisdom, is mentioned, and my name is Wiseman. That's literally the first three letters of my name are in wisdom, which is in the verse, and also it says for the number of a man, and man is in my name. So you get whiz man just from the words in the verse, or wisdom man or wise man just from the words in the verse. And not only that, the chapter is chapter 13, and the verse is the chapter is chapter 13 and the verse is chapter 18. Well, what's funny about that, not only is my birthday 12666, which has 666 in it, so at least two different ways of looking at that is 666 in it, because the 12 can be 6 and 6. So the 12 and 6 can be 666, and then there's the 1966, or we can think of the 6 and the 1966 sixes as 666, and then my month is 12. But here's the thing. 12 and 6 make 18, which is the verse in the Bible where it mentions 666, and then 1966. If you take out the 9, is 6. Is it can be 616, which 616 adds up to 13, which is the chapter in Revelation that mentions 666. So you can get 1318 from my birthday. You could even get it from the 12 of my month and the 1 of the year as 13, and the 6th day I was born in the 6th year as 18 also. So there's 2 ways of getting 1318 from my birthday, which my birthday does have 666 and 616, which is also considered an alternate form of 666 to some people. And not only that, but what whiz is this and man are both in words in the verse, and my name is Wiseman. So here's the crux of what I really was going to say is this. I thought about it, and if the Bible's not true, there's some wild coincidences there, isn't there? I mean, but that could be. It could be just a bunch of coincidences, and the Bible could be full of crap, and not be true at all. But I realized that it might be true because of those coincidences. Those coincidences with my birthday and name in the book of Revelation, specifically Revelation chapter 13:18, mean that the Bible might be true simply because that might not be a coincidence. And if that's the case, then the only way I believe that the Bible is true is if it's very likely, or maybe even factual, that I'm the Antichrist. So I'm either an atheist, which is things I don't believe in the Bible, or I believe I'm the Antichrist. That's funny. I thought about it, and if the Bible isn't true, that's a bunch of wild coincidences. And if those coincidences prove the Bible is true, then that also means I'm probably or likely the Antichrist. So I think that's funny and interesting. In other words, I may say I'm an atheist, but that means all of what I just said is all a bunch of coincidences. And that may not be that they may not be coincidences, which means the Bible may be true, which means I might be the Antichrist, if I believe the Bible is true. Because those chapters and verses were made before I was born. They weren't. That would make me a prophecy, almost, because they didn't write. The Bible had Revelation 13:18 long before I was born, and then I was born. Nobody doctored it because of me. I fit the profile, which means, what I'm saying, right? It's like, it would be prophetic if this is all true, or means something. And, but I was going to say this as well before I go. Me being the Antichrist, let's assume that that's the case, doesn't mean I can't do good with it. I have free will. I can do good with being the Antichrist. I can do good with that. And not only that, if the Bible's evil and God's evil, which of course, if the Bible's true, God isn't evil because God is good. If the Bible's true, I guess God's good. But let's just say for a second the Bible's true and he's not good, then being the Antichrist might actually make me good. Isn't that funny? LOL, peace of love.